Hi everybody and welcome to Husky Talk with UCTV Sports and News. Today, I, Noam Watt, am joined by the three founders of the Husky Ticket Project. So guys, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hey, I'm Jeremy Longobardi. I was a 2012 graduate of Uconn business school from Orange, Connecticut. Grew up in Connecticut my whole life and have lived in New York City for the past 6 years now. Kevin was my roommate for a few years. That's it.
Kevin Kortsep, School of Business as well, Uconn, graduated in 2012.
I'm Kevin Solomon, graduated from business school in 2014, got my master's from the digital media department in 2015. Like these guys, live in New York City, and just happy to be back on campus.
Tell me a little bit about how you guys all got to know each other.
Sure, so I'll go ahead and take that one. So Jeremy and I, we met on campus our freshman year, and so we've known each other all 4 years throughout. And then when we graduated in 2012, we also both moved into New York City around the same time. We were roommates for a few years. And then Kevin Solomon, we were both in ZBT, Zeta Beta Tau together. And so he ended up moving out to New York City as well, right around after he graduated, 2014, 2015. And that's how we all kind of got together for the project.
And then fast forward a few years to last year when the project was started. What was the motivation behind it? And tell me a little bit about Husky Ticket Project.
Sure. So Husky Ticket Project, while it started in 2018, so we've been doing this for about a year plus now, it really started and was born in the years prior to that. So coming out of school, 2012, Jeremy and I were in New York City. 2014, again, Kevin Solomon moved out there as well. And those years really coincided with what I call the AAC years. And, that coincided with a precipitous, I think, decline in how the athletics has performed on the field as a whole. And so tremendous amount of apathy surrounding the program. Attendance was starting to decline. And we really felt like after a few years of seeing this, we had to do something about it. We couldn't do it. We couldn't stand by and do nothing any longer. And so that's how the idea for the project was born.
So you had this idea, you wanted to give back to the program, to the athletic program that clearly meant a lot to you guys as students. How did Husky Ticket come to be and what is it?
I think it came to be, as Kevin mentioned, we just saw so many empty seats, and we wanted to get up there as much as possible. Obviously, it's a long trip from New York, so we wanted to be able to do something, and that something was, who can we send to games in our place? And really, the best option that we could think of was local Connecticut youth. So we partnered with some really great organizations. We're in our second football season, and we're up over probably 1,500 total kids to games through this year, between last year and this year. So, we're trying to build something. We're in the initial stages, but we think every year it'll get a little bigger and a little bigger, and we're excited. Just the feedback we've gotten from so many Uconn fans has been kind of overwhelming at points.
It's a symbiotic relationship between Uconn athletics and the kids and mentors who are able to go. And who are these kids and mentors that you guys are sending to games?
So it's a number of different organizations all around, mainly the Hartford area, just because it's easiest for them to kind of get to the games. But one of our biggest organizations we work with is Nutmeg Big Brothers Big Sisters. And honestly, for them, it's kind of a great event to kind of bring the kids with their mentors to go to either a football game, basketball game, and really kind of build their relationship through those games and not just kind of, like hanging out at a park or something. It's very easy for them to get together. And then a couple other organizations, the Hartford Catholic Workers,
Boys and Girls Club
of Hartford. What else do we have?
Connecticut
Kids is another one. Teague, which is an organization in the northwestern part of Connecticut.
We partnered with Byron Jones. We had New Britain PAL up for a football game this year, so that was pretty cool.
The Police Athletic League there, yeah.
So you talked about like sending people to sports games, which is an avenue for them to connect with their mentors, with their peers, different than, say, going to a park or working in a study group together. What are some of the stories that you've heard come out of the kids and mentors that have gone to these games?
I think the best story we've heard so far, actually, it was with our partners at Nutmeg Big Brothers Big Sisters, where a mentor and his mentee, they were really having trouble connecting. They tried a couple different avenues and it didn't really work, where they couldn't find that mutual understanding. So they went to a game. It was the child's first ever college football game, and just the sights and sounds and the sense of camaraderie that he was able to kind of feel there, they were able to hit it off. They started talking about life. They started talking about life after high school, college aspirations, something that people that he's associated with and people around him don't necessarily think about. But it was just a great opportunity, and it's like stories like that we didn't necessarily expect when we first started out, but it's stories like that are helping us stay motivated to continue to grow this. So.
And it's those future generations that you're sending to games that you hope will come back years later, potentially as Uconn students, Absolutely. Now that they've been introduced to this connection between Uconn athletics and life in general, that you're hoping to build and foster connections later down the road, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So how do the details of the project work? You guys get donations, and then what goes on from there?
Mostly we focus on Uconn alumni that live, what we say is outside the state of Connecticut. So we try to target those that live in Boston, New York City, obviously, Philadelphia, even as far as Los Angeles. Looking for the same type of way to give back to their university that we were looking for.
Right.
To try to give back and try to support the athletic department in a way that they can't by showing up and actually going to the game. And so we try to source, usually through our networks. It's been a lot of social media, our own personal networks and connections, and then we drive donations from those individuals. From there, we take the money and we use it to purchase tickets directly from the athletic department. So we have a dedicated representative that helps us buy the tickets. We're able, because of the amount of tickets we're buying, we're able to leverage even greater pricing to even buy more tickets than we otherwise normally could. And so from there, with the donations, we're buying the tickets, and then we distribute them to the not-for-profit organizations. And so I've kind of called it a win-win-win for everybody. The alumni gets to win by making a donation to our organization and supporting the athletic department. The athletic department wins because they are now getting tickets that people would not have otherwise purchased. And then the third beneficiary, and probably the most important, is the kids in Connecticut that would not have gone to a game otherwise.
How has Uconn been supportive of this initiative?
It was, it's a little slow starting out. We were just kind of feeling ourselves out. We obviously didn't want to step on any toes, knowing that we're sourcing donations from, very similar pool that the foundation would be sourcing from. Mm-hmm. But since partnering with some of the guys in the athletic department and the ticket office, they've been great. They've been giving us discounted tickets. They help us get message boards on the screen, so we're able to welcome all of our partners that are at the game. And hopefully we have a goal one day of having an entire section at games that are called the Husky Ticket Project section, and that's one of our aspirations and goals for the next coming years. And hopefully we can become big enough where that section will be full every game and cheering on the Huskies.
So you guys are all living in New York City now, the 6th borough. Have you felt that your project has sort of connected alumni in that area and brought back sort of that Uconn sense of pride? And it's gone away probably in the last couple of years as attendance has dipped and performance has dipped in the American Conference. Do you think that you've played a role in bringing people back together in the 6th borough?
Well, there's definitely a lot of events still going on. We had Jim Calhoun come to give a little kind of pep talk before last season, and we really tried to leverage those situations to really kind of get our name out there, because these are typically a little older alumni who may not be seeing our tweets or reading our stories on our blog. So we really try to use those events to try to network with them, kind of get our name out there, and hopefully pick up a couple donations here and there.
And have you seen donations pick up at all since the recent announcement that Uconn would be moving back home into the Big East?
Yeah, we did see some of that. There was a little bit of a Twitter campaign where everyone was donating, I think it was $19.87 for the year that the Big East was founded. Mm-hmm. And so we got a couple of $19.87 donations, which is pretty funny. But no, I mean, we've definitely seen that since the Big East announcement. People, whether it's around us or just in general, everyone's really excited. I saw even the athletic department announce that season tickets is up this year overall.
Yeah, by a lot. I talked to the athletic director, David Benedict, earlier in the year, and he said that after the recent announcements, like season ticket purchases just spiked. And it's obviously exciting for all of us.
And that's a year before we even joined the Big East, so I can imagine that next year will be even better.
Right. So you talked about the three components that benefit: the alumni, the athletic department, and the kids who are able to go. Now, you guys were all Uconn students. You lived through the glory days. 2011, Uconn football makes it to the Fiesta Bowl. Uconn men win the national championship. What were some of your favorite memories of going to Uconn games during your time as students?
I'll start it off. So probably my best event, just the craziest atmosphere I've ever been a part of, was when we won the national championship in 2011, and I was on campus at Gamble Pavilion, where it was just 10,000 of kids exactly like you going to watch the game and just going absolutely bananas once we won. Obviously the game was a little sloppy, but just the camaraderie that was there, like the atmosphere when even one random shot would go in was just insane. Every single time we scored, everyone was just going absolutely nuts. So that was definitely my favorite event here.
Yeah, so many basketball events that you could pick, obviously, with the success we've had over the years, but I'll pick a different one. One that really stands out for me is a Uconn football game. It was 2007. It was my senior year in high school, and we had South Florida. They were ranked number 8th in the country at the time, coming into Rensselaer Field. We were big time. We had a great team, but big time underdogs, I would say. And we pulled off the upset, and it was unbelievable. We rushed the field, jumped on Tyler Lorenzen's back. It was just an amazing atmosphere. And I remember senior year, I knew I wanted to go to UConn. Could not wait to get to campus sooner. And I think that's something that we hope that we can help be a part of to get the football program back to something like that.
Right, and looking back at that, you weren't even a UConn student at that point, and these kids that you're sending through Husky Ticket Project, not UConn students, but would you ever have envisioned, 12 years ago that would be sort of a foundational moment in starting this project? Like sending future UConn students, hopefully, connecting them to the rich athletic tradition and pride of being a Husky. Did you ever think about that?
That's all we could hope for with what we're doing is for any of the kids that go to these games, hopefully they get a big-time game in there, storm the field, and they send in their application a couple months later. I mean, that to me, if I heard one kid that did that, it would make the whole thing worthwhile.
Yeah, really what we're trying to do is our motto is kind of building that next generation of UConn fans.
And it's unfortunate, right? Because these stories that we're telling, the places were packed, all the venues were crowded, and it's unfortunate that we're at a place now where it's not necessarily the case that we have packed stadiums every game. But we're just hoping that we can get back to a point where when we're sending kids to games, they're gonna have the same experiences that we were able to experience. So hopefully one day, but we got to start somewhere.
Right, and you guys are starting somewhere, and you're not part of that apathetic group that's just posting and criticizing. You guys are really taking that first step. Now, you hadn't gotten to your favorite memory, so give you that
I'm sitting here
spotlight.
trying to think, as these guys are giving their experience, but there's no topping the 2014 national championship run. I got to go to the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, and then my buddy surprised me. His father purchased us tickets to the Final Four in the championship game, and that
In Dallas, right?
In Dallas, yeah. So that to end my senior year on that note was just an unbelievable storybook ending, and there's no topping an experience like seeing your team win a national championship in front of 80,000 fans.
Right, and it was a storybook ending, but it was also just the beginning. You guys obviously have all taken something from UConn and from what you've learned and brought it to the Husky Ticket Project. You guys are all School of Business graduates, right? How has that educational experience at UConn helped you as the Husky Ticket Project has grown over the last 18 months?
It's funny, we've kind of naturally fell into our roles of kind of what we do now in for our careers. I'm in the marketing field, and I've kind of taken on the CMO role as we've assigned ourselves roles. But it wasn't like we really even talked about it. We kind of just naturally fell into our own roles, and a lot of that has to do with obviously our experience and learning in the business school.
Yeah, so I was an accounting major here, went on to get my CPA, worked at Deloitte for a few years, so I'm pretty much in charge of running the budgets and purchasing all the tickets, making sure we're not spending too much money, and have a nice cushion. So
Now, Kevin, before we get to you, how much money are you guys raising every year?
So the first year we had a goal of $4,000, and we ended up bypassing that by a lot. So we had actually raised $7,000, which was huge. And then our second year we had a goal of $10,000, and we hit that goal, and we're a little over $10,000 right now, trying to push for a little bit more once we have a couple more things coming up in the pipeline.
Great.
Yeah, so Kevin Solomon here, as he said, call him the Chief Marketing Officer because that's a little bit of his background. Jeremy, Chief Financial Officer, because that's his background. And if you look at my LinkedIn, I put Director, just because I guess I'm the one coming up with the nicknames or the titles here. But also, so Kevin Solomon handles a lot of the Instagram account, Twitter account, really getting our name out there and into the channels of people that are going to see it. Jeremy's handling all the financial aspects in the background, working with the IRS, was very instrumental in getting our 501c3 designation.
Right, and that just happened
through.
recently, correct?
Yeah, exactly, about a month or two ago.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge. Now,
Huge.
gifts are gonna be tax deductible.
Yep.
Exactly, yeah, and so that's where kind of my role is trying to find new donor channels to access, different individuals that might be able to help us, even if it's just getting us in touch with the right person. That's a lot of what I do, and then on top of that, I also handle trying to source the various organizations that the tickets will ultimately go to.
And even more than the tax deductible, it kind of legitimizes us, right?
Right.
Instead of just three guys that people, that are asking for people's money, we're an actual organization now. We can, put our stamp down, and we are legit. So
Yeah.
it kind of helps, I think, with our credibility a little bit too.
Yeah, we were using a GoFundMe before in the early days, and
Right.
so that first year was really kind of like a test case for us, right? We were trying to see, would people trust donating money to us, and that's where one of the things I said was it's going to be very important for us to be transparent with everybody. That's why we set up the website. We have the pictures of the kids and the chaperones that go to the games.
Right. So after each game, you ask for pictures from the mentors and kids who are able to go, and then you send them back to the donors and
Exactly.
make that whole experience full circle, right?
Yeah, we want people to know what their money is going towards.
Right.
And that's some of the feedback that we've gotten that's been really helpful is, the athletic department can source alumni donations all they want, but the one thing that people really like from us is they know exactly where their money's going. They give us a donation, and we send them back pictures of the kids that they were able to actually send to the game, so that people know exactly where their money's going. They feel great that they can see the results of it, and we're just going to try to build on that.
And how do you guys want to build? What do you envision as the next steps over the next 2, 3, 5 years?
Yeah, so Kevin kind of mentioned it before, is I think the grand plan would be we'd love to have the Husky Ticket Project section at Rentschler Field. Just when you're watching on TV, you see that one section is full, that's going to make a big difference. So I really think we would love to get to that point in getting, how many are in a section, a couple hundred tickets. That would be a pretty good goal of ours. And then continuing that into the basketball season as well. And if the interest is there, we can, hockey, soccer, Uconn has great athletics across the board that I think kids would be interested in watching. And not everyone's into football and basketball, right? So these are just all different ways that we can go.
And especially with our new on-campus facilities.
Yeah, right.
We want to fill that baseball stadium up. We want to fill up that new soccer stadium. So again, just expanding. As Jeremy mentioned before, we're mostly with organizations in the Hartford area, but we want to expand into the entire state of Connecticut, get as many kids to as many different venues as possible.
How many kids do you guys think you've reached?
I think the number so far is over 1,500.
Wow.
Yeah, across 2 years probably, yeah.
Wow.
So, and we're hoping with like we said, with the momentum in the Big East, that we'll be able to kind of use that momentum and generate some more donations, which is going to lead to more tickets.
Now, how can people help you guys out? But not really help you, but the organization, the Husky Ticket Project.
Well, the obvious, I think, is donations, but more than that, just spreading the word. And we know there's plenty of good organizations out there that we haven't even been put in contact with, and we're always looking for some new partners to send to games. So if people know of some worthy organizations that would love to go to Uconn games, we would love to talk to them.
Yeah, I'd say like 75% of the organizations we have reached out to have been through word of mouth.
Yeah.
So we'll be connected to one organization, that organization will send 5 more to us, and then we kind of just build our network like that. So it's really like word of mouth, person to person is the best way that we can kind of expand this thing.
Where can people find you on social media and online?
Yeah, Twitter, we're at Husky Ticket Proj, P-R-O-J. Our website, we actually just locked down a new domain name, so in the coming weeks you'll see our full ownable website up there. It's huskyticketproject.com, and on Instagram you can find us too at Husky Ticket Project.
Great. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me, Kevin, and Jeremy. I swear I got that one. This has been Husky Ticket Project, feature with Husky Talk, part of UCTV Sports and UCTV News. Thank you guys so much for watching.